What's up, guys? Dan Hendry here. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can get your new business set up in just a few days. And the only reason it takes a few days is because you have to wait on a couple things. If you decide to do it the way I'm mentioning, you have to wait a few days for bank accounts to get set up and whatnot. Other than that, everything really only takes a couple hours. But that said, let me go ahead and mention that I am not giving you legal advice here, okay? This is not legal advice. This is not tax advice. I'm just telling you what I personally did and what advice I was given. If you choose to do that, that is up to you. And I have to say that for legal purposes. So with that said, this is how I did it personally. To start my company, I went to my local government website. And for Florida, it's called sunbiz.org. I'll just zoom in here just a bit. Let me zoom in here so you guys can see a little bit better. I went to sunbiz.org, and most states have this. They have a website where you can actually start your own LLC right from the website. In Florida, it only costs about $70. Now, I know that there's some websites out there, like I think it's like LegalZoom. They charge like $400 or $500 or more to do this. I didn't choose that because, I can just do it on here. So I chose to do it this way. And most states do have this option. If they don't have that option, I guess you could go with LegalZoom, but it seems pretty expensive to me. Anyway, so what I did was, oh, and by the way, yes, technically you could set up a Stripe account and set up payments and get paid to your personal account, but it was told to me that that is highly not a good idea, especially for like taxes and all that. So anyway, that's what I was told. So what I do right here is I click on File or Correct Florida LLC Articles of Organization, and it takes me right into this whole thing you do here. Start new filing, and it just asks you all this information, and it'll ask you for okay, so actually, I guess they upped it. Now it's $125. Not bad, but if you want to get like a certified copy and a certificate of status, I would get the certificate of status. That's what I did. But you put, I put my limited liability company name here. I put all this stuff in, and when it's all said and done, and you hit continue and you pay, it will give you articles of organization. And then it'll ask you to apply for a EIN number, which is electronic employer identification number, I think it is. So at that point, I took my articles of organization and my EIN number, and the EIN number takes a couple days to get. And when you file for it, they send you an email. So I would go to my local bank, like Bank of America or whatever, and I'd give them those two documents. And you'd want to call your local bank and find out what they specifically want. But you get them what they want, they open you up a business account. At that point, once you now have a business bank account, you can then go to Stripe, okay? And one more quick note on the corporation thing. It was told to me that when you're making a little bit of money, it's best to just open an LLC, and then when you start making a lot of money, you switch it to an S Corp for tax savings. I don't know the specifics of that. I just know when it's an S Corp, somehow you can do some stuff and it saves you more on taxes. Again, I don't know the details. I'm not recommending nor discouraging that. I'm just saying that that's what was told to me, okay? So then we can go to Stripe and we can hit Create Account. Now, anybody on earth can create a Stripe account, anybody, and you can get paid that way. So you create an account, and when you get into your account, it'll ask you a bunch of questions like, what's your address and your bank account number and all that, and that's where it's going to actually submit your payments to, okay? So then at that point, what you want to do is there's a couple of different ways to set this up once you've received the credit card number from, and I'll get into that in a moment, but once you've received the credit card number from your client, I say, okay, we want to pay you, here's our credit card number, and I'll cover that in a minute. There's two ways to do this. We could go to payments, and we could just create a payment. So here's our payments. If I hit new, and I just type in, so let's say we're charging $1,500 a month, right? So when it comes time to charge them, we type in 1,500, we type in their credit card number, we type in the example of like what we're charging them for. I would also put in, so if you leave this blank, this is how it shows on their credit card statement. But if you put that in, it shows like that. Yeah. So I would probably do something like that. That way they recognize what it's for. And then you want to click this button. You want to put in the cardholder name, the street, street line 2, city, all that stuff, and an email for their receipt. And then check capture charge so that it actually charges them, and hit create payment, and it will charge them. Now that's if you do a manual payment. One thing about Stripe, they don't like it when you do all of your payments manual. So what I like to do is, if the client does not want to be charged manual or recurring, which you really need to get them to charge you to agree to being charged on automatic, because if they don't agree to that, they're probably kind of a pain in the ass. So if you have to charge individually, or maybe you did something extra for them or whatever, this is how you would do it. Now, if you want to charge them recurring, what I would do is I'd go into ClickFunnels here, and just to give you an example, if you hit build a funnel and you hit create new funnel in the classic funnel builder like this, and you hit sell your product, and you hit sales funnel, and you type in like, Facebook ad, whatever, Facebook, this is a dummy funnel. This is just for you to be able to enter it in yourself. You're not going to show this to your client. You're not going to send it to your client. Okay. Basically you'd create a sales funnel. It would look like this. There's some other steps that they add in. I went ahead and deleted them to make it easy on you. I'll just send you a link to this funnel so that you can just you don't have to do all that. You can just click it. It'll enter it into your ClickFunnels account, and then you can just add the product, and you're good to go. So at this point, what we're going to see here, this is all just like default crap that ClickFunnels puts in. See, it says your logo and all that. You're not going to show this to the client. You're going to enter this in manually to put them on a recurring subscription. Okay, so doesn't matter what it says. So what we're going to do in Stripe is we're going to go to subscriptions and then plans, and we're going to click that, and we're going to hit new, and then we're just going to type in some sort of ID. You can just randomly type in numbers, Facebook monthly, if you want, whatever you want to call it. You can misspell monthly like I did. You put in the amount you're going to charge every month, interval monthly, trial period days no. Again, that's where you'd put your statement description. Okay, and you'd hit create. Now I already created it right here, Facebook ads monthly. So that's what it's called. So what I would do is over here in products, I'd click products, and I already have it set here. I'm going to delete this and redo it just so you guys can see, because when you get this funnel right here, you're going to have to do this. This is literally the only thing you're going to have to do. Well, actually, there's two things you're going to have to do. Number one, you're going to have to integrate Stripe with ClickFunnels, and that's to sell anything on ClickFunnels. So if you go to payment gateways, which is right here, you would just hit add new payment gateway. You'd hit Stripe, and you get a total of 3 accounts. So if I hit create Stripe account, I would hit the name, like I'm just going to put test account, create Stripe account, and then when you hit next, it should actually you would hit next, and it should connect to Stripe if you're logged in and get it all connected. I'm not going to hit that because I'm already connected and it'll mess up my account. But basically, you would just hit this button, be logged into Stripe, and it'll take care of it for you, and you'll be integrated. So with that said, once we have that done, we go to products, we hit add product, and then we select Stripe as the billing integration. We'll put FB ads monthly, whatever you want to call it. Put the amount that we charge monthly, hit subscription down here. Again, just type that in, select the plan right here. I put $9.99 because I'm not going to cancel it until they cancel, right? So I just put in like $9.99, no trial period days. I also go to fulfillment email and I delete all this information so that ClickFunnels doesn't send them some weird email that they're not supposed to get, because they should get a receipt from Stripe. And then I hit create product. Whoops. 1500. Oops. And then I hit create product. And now if I go back to the overview and I click this button here and it takes me to the page, I would just fill this out with their credit card number and hit complete order, and they are now on a recurring payment. And at that point in Stripe, you could just you could hit customers, find the customers, and if they ever needed to cancel, I'm not going to show you that because it's so easy, guys, I promise. But I don't want to show you that because it'll show my customers' private info. So if I hit customers, I find the customer, it'll show the subscription. I can then find the subscription and click cancel subscription for that customer, and then, good to go. In fact, if I hit subscriptions here, yeah, so see where it says active. Again, if I click any further, you'll see customer info, but if you click on that, there will be a button that will allow you to cancel the subscription, okay, if you needed to. You can also refund them. All that stuff is in Stripe. It's super easy to use. It requires literally zero training. It literally says refund. I mean, it's Stripe is very, very easy to use. Okay, another thing you want to do here is, and this is like a super pro hack, you want to hit edit page, and you want to go to settings, general, click that, and where it says search engines, hit hide. You don't want somebody to accidentally find this page on Google and like sign up, and it's just, you don't want that. So at that point, just hit save and you're good to go, and that's it. Now you're set up. So I will give you this funnel, no problem. Okay, so now we know how to, once we have the credit card number, we know how to charge them manually, right? We know how to charge them manually. We know how to use a ClickFunnels order page to put them on automatic payments. We know how to do that, right? So how do we actually get the credit card number? Well, we use an auth form. I'm going to give you this auth form. In fact, if you take a look at this PDF right here, this PDF, I will send you this PDF so that you can look at it and recreate it in Google Docs for yourself. But it's really simple, guys. You put your logo here, you put your company name here, and this is the company name I use for my ad agency and stuff. And let me just zoom in a little bit here so you guys can kind of see this a little bit better. So this is in Google Drive, Google Docs. When I'm ready to send this to my client, like for instance, well, you know what, let me just go through it and then I'll show you how to save it and send it to the client. So I have the logo, I put my address and company name here. I put credit card, debit card, payment authorization form. And then here I simply say sign up and complete this form to authorize Omni Marketing LLC to make a debit to your credit card or debit card listed below. By signing this form, you give us permission to debit your account for the amount indicated on or after the indicated date. And then I put please complete the information below. I blank authorize Omni Marketing LLC to charge my credit card, debit card account indicated below for $1,500 on or after, and then you just put the date here, okay? And then I put this payment is for Facebook advertising and management. Now here's something I want you guys to pay attention to. Additional payments of $1,500 will be charged each month for the management fee, provided the cardholder confirms permission to charge the card via email. So this part right here, if your client is a little weird about being put on auto pay, then I put this in the agreement just to make them feel a little bit more comfortable. And then like 3 days before I charge them, I send them an email. I say, just to let you know you're going to be charged. They say, okay, and then they get charged. However, if they show you no resistance to that, just delete it like so, and don't even worry about it. Don't confirm with them. If they don't have a problem with it, I would just delete it. But I'll leave it in there in case you want to use it. Then below I put a checkbox, and the way you can do that is you just go like here and you put in insert drawing, and then you hit this button here, shapes box, and you just draw a box like that, and you hit save, and it creates a box. Okay, that's it. That's all there is. So it says, if you'd like this card to also be used as the funding source for your ad spend, please check this box. Okay, and that way, if they want to use that same card, and let's say you're running ads through your account, or not your account, but a separate account that's not theirs, or you need to add the funding source, or they don't know how to do it, or whatever, and they check that box, now you can use that same credit card, so they'll get two separate charges, and you'll explain to this over the phone to them. You'll explain, they'll get the management fee charge, which is the $1,500, and they'll also get the charge from Facebook. And then you have your basic name on card, card number, all this stuff right here. You have your signature and your date, and then you have this little disclosure here that basically says, like, you know, they agree and they're not going to charge back or whatever like that. So when you would adjust this is, for instance, you'd adjust the date, or you would adjust the amount. If you want to charge them $1,000, charge them $1,000 a month, $2,000, whatever. At this point, when you're ready to send it to them, you would hit File, and actually, let me back out a little bit here. You'd hit File, and you'd hit Print. And when you go to print, you just hit Open in PDF Preview. And when you do that, it will open in the PDF Preview, which it'll look like this. And then what you do is you go here and you hit Save. And when you hit Save, it'll ask you where to save it, and you hit Save, and then you just send that PDF to your client. Easy peasy. They're going to sign it, and they're going to then like scan it back to you. Now, here is a pro tip. Here is a pro tip. You got to remember, the number one reason that, you know, it takes longer than it should to get this business started is, number one, client procrastination. I'm going to be talking about that more in the onboarding video, but it needs to be said here, because if your client procrastinates, that's the slower you get started, the slower you get paid. So one Super Ninja Pro hack is, instead of sending them this PDF and having them print it out, because you got to remember, if you send them this PDF, they're going to have to print it out, they're going to have to sign it, they're going to have to scan it, they're going to have to email it to you. If they are a perfect client, meaning they're a client that already has business and they're busy and you don't want them to bother you, unfortunately that also means that they're busy and they're probably not going to have time to do that, and it's probably going to take them a while, and in the time it takes them to do all that stuff, they may change their minds or whatever. So what I would do is I would go to DocuSign.com, okay, DocuSign.com, and I'd sign up for an account, and I'd upload this to DocuSign, and I'd send them the DocuSign link. And when you send them the DocuSign link, what's going to happen is they can actually sign it online, okay? And it's secure, and DocuSign is a very recognized, you know, company. So that way there's way less work. You can get started much faster and whatnot. So I hope this has been helpful, guys. This should get you started, get your company started super, super fast, and get you moving and get you able to accept payments. Because you got to remember, even if you're taking a trial client in the beginning, and I've had this happen. I've heard a ton of students say this. They'll take on a trial client, and the client will say something like, "Well, you know what? Let me just go ahead and pay," or, "Well, you know what? I feel good about this. Let me just go ahead and pay." And then you're like, "Oh crap, I don't have anything set up." So while you're learning, while you're taking in the education, and while you're learning how to do this stuff, I go ahead and get this started right away and get all set up so that when it's time to get paid, you're not like, "Oh crap," because the worst thing is when somebody's ready to pay you and you're not ready. Okay. So anyway, guys, I'll see y'all in the next video. Much love. See you soon.